In the last lecture, first we have started with Dalton's theory of atom, and हमने ऐसा कुछ बात किया. All of the postulates of Dalton's theory were based on the idea of atomic mass. Depending upon the atomic mass, he has given some postulates, and according to Dalton, if two atoms are having same masses, then they should be atoms of the same element. If they are having different masses, then they should be atoms of the different elements, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he said that atom is the smallest indivisible particle, which is not made up of anything. Matlab, it should not contain any electrons, protons, or neutrons. It is the smallest indivisible particle that takes part in a chemical reaction. And he also said that atoms combine in simple whole number ratios to form molecules. And ye jo particular statement hai, this statement is true. Atoms combine in simple whole number ratios to form molecules, because atom is the smallest entity that takes part in the chemical reaction. Okay. His theory has some drawbacks, or his theory completely failed. The reason for that is due to the discovery of isotopes and isobars. What are isotopes? Isotopes are atoms having same atomic number but different mass number. Matlab, these are atoms belonging to the same element. If I take isotopes, protium, deuterium, and tritium, and if I find their atomic mass, the atomic mass of these three atoms are different. One is having 1 AMU, one is having 2 AMU, and the other is having 3 AMU. So according to Dalton, these should be atoms of the different elements. And
Sir, you are not audible.
Sir, you mute yourself.
2 minutes, huh? Give me 2 minutes. Yeah. According to Dalton, isotopes must be atoms of different elements because they are having different masses. But we know that isotopes are atoms of the same element. Like in this case, they are atoms of the same element, hydrogen, right? If you take isobars, isobars are atoms having different atomic number but have same mass number. So according to Dalton, they should be atoms of the same element. Suppose argon और calcium लिया, दोनों का mass number same है, 40 and 40. So according to Dalton, they should be atoms of the same element. But we know that they are atoms of different elements and they are having different physical and chemical properties. Argon is a gas, calcium is a solid. Argon does not form any compounds. Calcium can form some compounds. Matlab, their physical and chemical properties are obviously different. Okay. So discovery of isotopes and isobars led to the failure of Dalton's theory. When electrons, protons, and neutrons were discovered, Dalton's theory was completely discarded. Okay. And then we have seen discovery of electron. Discovery of electron was made by J.J. Thomson with the help of an experiment called cathode ray tube experiment. First, we understood the apparatus. In the apparatus, you are having a very high voltage battery of almost 10,000 volts, which is very, very huge. Okay. And this is connected across two metal plates. The metal plate that is attached to the negative terminal will have negative charge on it, and it is called as cathode. The metal plate that is attached to the positive terminal will be having positive charge on it, and it is called as anode. He placed a gas at low pressure. Low pressure indicates the number of molecules inside the tube are less. More are the number of molecules, more is the pressure. Less are the number of molecules, less will be the pressure. Or else जो भी observations उन्होंने देखा, those observations were obtained only if you place the gas at low pressure. Or gases are good conductors of electricity. They can conduct some amount of electricity only if they are held at low pressures. At high pressures, gases act as very, very poor conductors. So आपको जो भी observations इस experiment में दिखना चाहिए, we may not observe those at high pressures. Okay, ठीक है. So what is the observation we made? In the tube, we have coated the area just behind the anode with zinc sulfide. The property of the zinc sulfide is phosphorescent. What is meant by phosphorescent? If any energetic particle falls on that particular screen, it will glow. Okay, it will produce scintillation. So when he performed the experiment, what the observation is, he started observing some rays starting from cathode, okay, and they travel towards the anode. They travel towards the anode and they have produced scintillations on the zinc sulfide screen. From this, I'm concluding that some particles are coming from the cathode and they are possessing some energy. So whenever they are falling on the zinc sulfide screen, they are able to produce scintillations. So in order to understand the nature of those particular rays, he did some modifications in the apparatus. उसने क्या किया? Around the apparatus, he has placed an external battery. When he placed an external battery, the rays started to deviate towards the positive terminal of the battery. If they are deviating towards the positive terminal, these rays must be negatively charged. Okay. So from this particular observation, he concluded that cathode rays are first of all charged and the nature of the charge is negative. Okay. उसके बाद उसमें क्या किया? He placed an opaque object. Whenever he placed an opaque object, he found the shadow of that particular object. From that, he concluded that these rays travel in straight lines. The third observation, this is the most important observation. He placed a small wheel, mechanical wheel, in the path of the cathode rays. Whenever the cathode rays fell on this particular mechanical wheel, the wheel started to rotate. So this shows that these cathode rays were able to exert some force on the wheel. If something is able to exert force, then it should contain a mechanical property called mass. So those cathode ray particles possess mass. The cathode ray particles, first of all, we concluded they possess charge, and now we are concluding that they possess mass. Okay. So once we have concluded that they have both charge as well as mass, he found the E/m ratio. E/m ratio is nothing but charge of that particular cathode ray particle divided by mass of that particular cathode ray particle. Okay. He has repeated this experiment with different metal plates and different gases. And why is he changing the metal plate and why is he changing the gas? Because these are nothing but the sources of the cathode rays. As these are the sources of the cathode rays, he is observing by changing what will be the effect. What will be the effect on the E/m ratio by changing the sources. The source is the metal plate and the gas. ये समझ में आया ना सबको? The metal plate is the obvious source because we can clearly see the cathode rays starting from the cathode or emptying from the cathode. These cathode rays having very high energy. Whenever they are falling on the gaseous atoms are getting ionized. Ionized का मतलब क्या है? उनके अंदर जो भी electrons है, those are kicked out, converting them into ions. Those electrons or those particles are also negatively charged, so they will also migrate towards the anode. So whenever he calculated the E/m ratio using some experiment, don't bother about that. He has placed the electric field as well as magnetic field. Depending upon the charge and mass of the particle, there will be deviation. Okay. So irrespective of the source we are using, always the deviation obtained for that particular cathode ray particle is same. From that, I can conclude that E/m ratio of all the particles is same. If the E/m ratio of all the particles is same, I can say the particle that is generated from all the metals as well as gases should be same. Agreed? अगर वो different particles आता तो you obviously will be getting different E/m ratio. As you are getting same E/m ratio in all the cases, the particle that is getting emitted from the metal plate as well as from the gas must be same. Okay. As it is present in all the elements and as its nature is same, we are concluding that particular cathode ray must be fundamental. A fundamental particle is one which will be present in all the elements as well as it will be of the same nature. Different elements में उसका nature जो है अलग नहीं रहेगा. If it is different, we should not say it as fundamental. Because of its same nature and because of its presence in each and every element, we are calling that as fundamental particle. Okay? Okay. So यहाँ पे आपको मैं E/m ratio के बारे में भी लिखा. The E/m ratio he obtained is 1.758820 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. Coulomb is the unit for charge and kg is the unit for mass. Okay. This is the E/m ratio he got irrespective of the metal plate and the gas taken. ओके यहाँ तक क्लियर है. सो ये जो जे थॉमसन ने, उसने अलग से चार्ज का वैल्यू, अलग से मास का वैल्यू ए निकाला क्या? Did he calculate the separate value of charge, separate value of mass for the cathode ray? No, right? All he did is he calculated the ratio, EBM ratio, based on the deviation of the charged particle in the combined electric and magnetic fields. Okay, ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
So in order to obtain the charge of electron, we have an experiment. The experiment is performed by Millikan, and the name of the experiment is Millikan oil drop experiment. So आप लोग ने पढ़ा होगा थोड़ा बहुत कुछ तो समझ में आया होगा. आप लोग को जो भी समझ में आया है, प्लीज शेयर. Millikan oil drop experiment. Again, we will understand only his thought process, concepts involved in the experiment. We won't be calculating anything. Yeah. Anyone? Millikan oil drop experiment. Anyone wants to share? Satej या प्रणव, जिन्होंने पढ़ा है. शुभंकर, शार्दुली, ईशा, किसी ने भी पढ़ा? No one? कार्तिक?
सर पढ़ा है पर ठीक से समझा नहीं.
ठीक है, देखते हैं. फिर से ऑपरेटर्स के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत पहले आइडिया ले लेते हैं. ओके. You have a glass chamber. Inside the glass chamber, you are having two metal plates. You are having two metal plates. One of the metal plate is attached to negative terminal. So इस metal plate के ऊपर कौन सा चार्ज आएगा?
Negative.
Negative charge. Okay. बीच में थोड़ा सा गैप है. The bottom plate, this is attached to the positive terminal. So इसके ऊपर कौन सा चार्ज आएगा?
Positive.
Positive. Okay. The name of the experiment is oil drop experiment. So what you will have is, there is an atomizer. An atomizer is used to spray the oil droplets. जैसे आपको perfume रहता है ना, whenever you spray the perfume, you will get small droplets of perfume. Similarly, this particular atomizer, it is used to spray small droplets of oil. So यहाँ पे आपको there are tiny droplets of oil. Okay. So these oil droplets are made to flow through this particular gap. They will fall down. What is the reason for them to fall down?
Gravitation.
Gravitational force or the gravitational pull. So whenever I'm releasing these oil droplets with the help of atomizer, these oil droplets drop through this particular space because of gravitational pull. Okay. Tell me, will the size of the oil droplets, different oil droplets which you have sprayed, will they be of the same size or will they be having different sizes?
Different sizes.
Different size.
Different.
They can definitely have different sizes, right? Okay. If you're having different size oil droplets, the mass of the oil droplets will also vary.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me, now before the start of the experiment, we are not switching on this battery. The battery is off, so you don't have any charges on them. If I have an oil droplet, this is a typical oil droplet. Tell me the forces experienced by the oil droplet whenever it is falling down. क्या लग रहा है आपको? क्या forces रहेगा?
Gravitational.
Gravitational.
Okay, one is the gravitational force which is acting downwards. Okay, good. Is there any force that can act on oil droplet?
The frictional.
Friction.
Frictional force.
Very good, very good. The frictional force. In general, if the body is huge, like if you drop a football or any object, whenever that ball or that object falls down, उसके ऊपर जो frictional force है, we consider that as negligible. But in the context of oil droplet, the gravitational pull and the frictional force on the oil droplet, they are not. The frictional force should not be neglected in the presence of that gravitational force. Okay, gravitational force भी उसके ऊपर कम ही लगने वाला है, and that frictional pull, which is also called as drag force, in case of oil droplet or in case of objects, it is called as drag force. Okay, that should not be neglected. So we will mention that as well. So उसके ऊपर there is a force, the friction will act in the opposite direction, and that particular force is also called as drag force. Okay. On what factor does the gravitational force depend?
Mass.
Mass.
The mass of the oil droplet. Okay, and the mass of the oil droplet depends upon its size. More is the size, more will be the mass, less is the size, less will be the mass. Okay. On what factor does the drag force depend? ये आपको पता नहीं होगा. The drag force depends upon the surface area. जितना ज़्यादा surface area होगा, that particular surface will be experiencing the friction. More is the surface area, more will be the drag force. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The drag force is also proportional to the size, as well as the gravitational force is also proportional to the size. Agreed? Logical hai?
Yes.
Okay. We are trying to understand only the concepts behind this. We are still learning chemistry only. We are not learning physics. We are just trying to understand the concepts. Okay? Okay? Okay. So you are having a drag force acting upwards, and you are having a gravitational force downwards. Okay? Okay. When these two forces balance, what can happen?
वो हिलेगा नहीं उधर से.
Okay, when these two forces balance, usually होता क्या है? Whenever something falls down, उसका velocity बढ़ता जाएगा because of the acceleration due to gravity or because of the gravitational force. Downward force है ना? Force है. Because of that, you will be having an acceleration. Because of the acceleration, you will be having velocity. Agreed? You will be having change in velocity. थोड़ा बहुत आपने 10th में पढ़ा होगा. Whenever there is an acceleration or whenever there is a net force, there will be acceleration. If there is acceleration, there will be change in velocity. Agreed?
Yes.
Everyone? Okay. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Okay. Even though this is conceptual, let us try to understand. क्योंकि बाद में फ्यूचर में आप लोग को यूजफुल रह सकता है फिजिक्स में. Okay. If the drag force equates the gravitational force, will there be any net force on the particle?
No.
Okay. If there is no net force on the particle, whenever it is falling down, okay, till this forces balance, it will be attaining some velocity, right? Till it
Yes.
balances, मतलब drag force, जब तक drag force और gravitational force balance नहीं होगा, तब तक क्या होगा? There will be attainment of some velocity. So once they are balanced, that velocity will remain constant because the net force is 0. So it will be falling down with uniform velocity. The rate at which it falls down or the drops down will be uniform. Okay. It may or may not stop. Some particles may stop whenever the drag force becomes slightly greater than gravitational force, then it may stop. नहीं तो क्या होगा? It will be dropping down with a constant velocity, which is called as terminal velocity. You will be reading about terminal velocity in detail in physics. Important है JEE के लिए. They will ask you to calculate what is the terminal velocity. तो तब क्या होता है? The drag force becomes equal to the gravitational force. Is this clear? Okay.
Okay, sir.
So depending upon different particles and different drag forces and different gravitational forces, can we calculate the mass of the particle?
Yes.
The upward force,
Yes.
drag force, it is a function of radius. With the help of radius, you can find the volume of the particle. With the help of volume of the particle, if you know the density of the substance, ये जो oil जो use कर रहा हूँ, I am using that oil, so I will be knowing the density of the oil. उसका parameters मुझे पता होगा, so the density of oil is known. With the help of equating these two forces, I can find the mass of the particle. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Either I will be finding the radius. With the help of radius and multiplying that with density, I can find the mass. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, can you please repeat this thing again?
Yeah. अभी ये जो particle है, for that particular particle which is moving with a constant speed. Why is that moving with a constant speed? Because the forces are balanced. If there is no net force, if force is zero, F is equals to ma, acceleration has to be zero. Okay. If acceleration is equals to zero, the velocity won't be changing. What is the acceleration? Change in velocity per unit time. If there is no acceleration, the velocity won't be changing. So all these particles will be dropping down with uniform speeds. Okay, they won't be accelerated. Why are they not accelerated? Because the forces are balanced. And what are the different forces acting on the droplet? One is the drag force and the other is the gravitational force. Okay. For all such particles, उसने क्या किया? He equated the drag force with the gravitational force. The drag force is a function of radius. If it is a function of radius, I can find the volume. With the help of volume, I can convert that into mass using density. Clear? A downward force, that is also function of mass only, because the gravitational force will be equal to mg, right? This is also function of mass. This is drag force is indirectly function of mass because it is function of radius. उस radius को मैं mass में convert कर सकता हूँ. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay. So by balancing these things, he has calculated masses of different droplets. क्योंकि different droplets का mass सबका अलग-अलग है. Is this clear? And based on their masses, they will be having different terminal velocities. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. ये पहला पार्ट हुआ.
सर
Yeah.
फिर से एक्सप्लेन करें प्लीज.
Okay. अभी हमको करना क्या है? देखो बेस इतना ही है. You need not do any calculations. You just need to understand his thought process or the concepts behind this. आपको इतना ही पहले सबसे पहले हमको क्या चाहिए? As the droplets are having different sizes, I am trying to measure, or Millikan जो है, he tried to measure masses of different oil droplets. Different oil droplets mass is measured with the help of the terminal velocities. Terminal velocity मतलब क्या है? All the droplets will be dropping down with uniform speed. Why are they dropping down with uniform speed? Because there is no net force on the oil droplet. Net force क्यों नहीं है? On an oil droplet, you have two forces. One is the drag force, which is nothing but the friction, okay, which depends upon the surface area. And the other is the gravitational force, which depends on the mass. Okay. Surface area के ऊपर आपको क्या depend होता है? Nothing but the size or the radius of the oil droplet.
Yes.
If you know the radius, you can find the volume of the oil droplet. And we know that density is equals to mass upon volume. Okay, so by knowing, we already know the density because that oil is, we are using that oil. So we will be knowing its parameters. So we will be knowing the density. We know the volume. With the help of density and volume, I can find the mass of the oil droplet. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By equating these two, he has calculated the mass of the oil droplet. I hope this is clear. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once we know the mass of the oil droplet, okay, we are here trying to find the charge of an electron, right? If I want to find the charge of the electron, I need to have charge first of all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the oil droplets which are present, उसने क्या किया? He has ionized those oil droplets. What is meant by ionization? पहले भी हमने पढ़ा है. What is meant by ionization? Removal of electrons. So यहाँ पे जो भी oil droplet है, the oil droplet which you have here, that particular oil droplet is ionized. How to ionize an oil droplet? By incidenting some energy on it. If I'm incidenting energy, if that energy falls on the electrons present in the oil droplet के अंदर भी atoms ही रहेगा ना? Okay, falls on the, and this energy particle is nothing but X-ray. He has used X-ray. X-ray is a source of energy. So if that energy falls on the oil droplet, the electrons will be kicked out, or the oil droplet will be converting into positively charged species.
Yes.
एक पॉजिटिव चार्ज बन जाएगा और इसके अंदर से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आ जाएगा. Okay, the number of electrons that are kicked out from the oil droplet will also vary because it all depends upon the X-rays which are falling on them. Different oil droplets पे different number of X-rays गिर सकता है. Accordingly, the number of electrons that are coming out will vary. Agreed? So different oil droplets will be having different size as well as different charge. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. किसी ने मम्मी करके चिल्लाया, डर लग गया क्या कॉन्सेप्ट से? ठीक है. हाँ, क्या कर रहे हैं हम? We are ionizing the oil droplet. What is meant by ionization of the oil droplet? We are removing the electrons. How are we removing the electrons? By incidenting some energy on the oil droplet. Whenever the atoms of the oil droplet, whenever they absorb that particular energy, the electrons will be kicked out. If the electrons are kicked out, net में oil के ऊपर एक charge आ रहा है हमको. Clear? So now the oil droplet is positively charged. I hope this is clear. Okay. So if that positively charged oil droplet, यहाँ पे फिर से observe करना. अभी हमारे पास दो प्लेट से ऊपर हमने नेगेटिव टर्मिनल को कनेक्ट किया. सो यहाँ पे आपको नेगेटिव चार्ज है, नीचे पॉजिटिव टर्मिनल से कनेक्ट किया, यू हैव पॉजिटिव चार्ज. ओके, you have an oil droplet which is positively charged. Now tell me the forces that are going to act on the oil droplet. Tell me the forces. You will be having upward force. You will be having
Magnetic
upward
force.
forces as well as you will be having some downward forces. Upward force matlab the forces that are acting upwards. Downward forces matlab the forces that are acting downwards. Okay. Tell me the reason for upward forces.
Magnetic.
एक already हमने पढ़ लिया. एक drag force तो अभी भी वो उसके ऊपर रहेगा ही ना. You will be having drag force.
Yes.
Along with that, now you will have one more force, which is nothing but the electrical force.
Electron.
Which is nothing but the electrical force. Electrical force किस वजह से generate हुआ? Because of the charge on the oil droplet. Agreed? This is positively charged. यहाँ पे downward ये जो plate है ये भी positively charged है and then negatively charged है. So this will be pulling this positively charged oil droplet upwards, and this positively charged plate will be pushing that. Okay, so you will be
Yes, sir.
having an electrical force which will be acting upwards. And what is the downward force? अभी भी downward force कितना है?
Gravitational.
It is nothing but
Gravitational
gravitational force. Okay,
Yes.
so यहाँ पे आप लोग you can play with this particular apparatus. मतलब क्या है? If you are changing the voltage of this battery, what will happen? ये जो upward force है, the electrical force can be increased. if the electrical force is very high, when compared to the gravitational force, what will happen? ये जो oil droplets है, they can
ऊपर
move.
जाएगा.
Okay, there can be some
ऊपर
net force. If there is net force, there can be acceleration, so they can be accelerated upwards. Okay, suppose ये जो electrical force है उतना ज़्यादा नहीं है. Okay, उतना ज़्यादा नहीं है, it is still falling down, so it can be decelerated as well. और ऐसा कुछ कर सकते हैं. You can also reverse the polarity. Reverse the polarity का मतलब क्या है? यहाँ पे आप लोग positive charge लगा सकते हो, यहाँ पे negative charge. By doing that, you can accelerate this particular particle. Agreed?
Yeah.
क्योंकि positive charge है, negative charge हो जाएगा, you will be having attractive forces. So what you can do is you can accelerate the oil droplet, you can decelerate the oil droplet, as well as you can make the oil droplet to remain stationary. Okay, there can be one particular voltage when the oil droplet becomes stationary. उनके लिए क्या करना चाहिए हमको? You just need to do this. You need to equate the upward forces with the downward forces. इनको equate करना है बस. अभी आपको we already know that drag force is a function of size or it is a function of mass. Gravitational force, this is also function of size or function of mass. ये जो electrical force है, वो किसका function है?
Charges.
Charges.
Depends on charge.
Yes.
Depends on charge of the oil drop, charge on the oil droplet. Okay. So by doing these calculations, अभी हम exactly calculate करने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है. We don't know what is the drag force, what is the expression for it. We don't know the expression for electrical force. So don't worry about that. He has equated the upward forces with the downward forces, and whenever the charges became stationary, with the help of the charge on this as well as the ये जो electrical force है, एक तो definitely depends upon charge, दूसरा it depends upon battery too ना. Based on voltage of the battery, based on this particular equation, he calculated the charge on the oil droplet. Okay. यहाँ पे जो भी पॉजिटिव चार्ज बन रहे हैं, अगर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन गया तो you will be getting positive charge equivalent to one electron charge. The sign will be different. An electron is negatively charged, but a proton is positive. Sorry, whenever you are removing an electron, you are having a positive charge. So एक इलेक्ट्रॉन गया तो उसका equivalent amount एक positive charge बनेगा. दो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स गया तो उसका इक्विवेलेंट अमाउंट 2 पॉजिटिव चार्ज बनेगा. 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन गया तो 3 पॉजिटिव चार्ज बनेगा. सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. एग्रीड एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
ओके.
Explain again.
ओके, कौन सा पार्ट? एनी स्पेसिफिक पार्ट या पूरा?
नहीं इलेक्ट्रॉन वाला.
हाँ, इलेक्ट्रॉन वाला. ठीक है. इनिशियली द ऑयल ड्रॉपलेट इज न्यूट्रल. Whenever I am removing one electron, it is having deficit of 1 electron charge. Okay, 1 electron charge मान लेते हैं minus E. 1 electron charge मान लेते हैं minus E. So if I am removing an electron, what will be the positive charge that is going to create? Plus E. क्योंकि नेट में न्यूट्रल होना चाहिए ना, plus E minus E. If I am removing 2 electrons, what is the positive charge that is going to be created? Plus 2E. 3 electrons plus 3E. 4 electrons plus 4E, so on so forth.
Yes.
Okay, ठीक है. So उसने क्या किया? He has calculated charges on different oil droplets. Everyone, अभी यहाँ पे आप observe करना है, very important. He has calculated charges on different oil droplets, and the values of charges he got, he arranged them in increasing order, starting from the least. बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट किया उसने, बहुत ज्यादा ऑयल ड्रॉपलेट्स को ऑब्जर्व किया. He used this particular equation for all the oil droplets. He know the mass of the oil droplet already. Using this, now he calculated the charge on the oil droplet using this expression, and the charges on oil droplet, he got the mass plus 0.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. I am arranging these in the order, in increasing order. Okay, starting with the least. Plus 3.2 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. plus 4.8 into 10 to minus 19 coulomb plus 6.4 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb plus 8.0 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb, so on and so forth. This is the observation of charges. From this charges value, what can you conclude?
According to
Common difference is
multiple of the
1
smallest quantity.
Anyone, one at a time, please.
So they are multiples of 1.6 into 10 power minus 19.
They are multiples of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. Lowest value जो है, lowest value of charge on any given oil droplet is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. बाकी जो भी charges है, if I am arranging them in increasing order, all these charges are multiple of this particular 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So ये जो particular charge आया होगा, ये किस वजह से आया होगा? That is because of loss of one electron on the oil droplet. This charge will be because of loss of two electrons. This charge will be due to loss of 3 electrons, so on and so forth. All these charges are multiples of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So that 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 must be the charge of an electron. Because always the charges will appear as integer multiples of charge of electron. They cannot be loss of half electron. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
एक आधा इलेक्ट्रॉन तो कभी भी लॉस नहीं हो सकता है ना. Always you will be losing electrons in terms of integers. So the charges will be also obtained in terms of integer multiples only. All these are, everyone observe, multiples of or integer multiples of (1.6) into 10 raised to minus 19. From this, I can conclude this implies charge on an electron is equals to minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Agreed?
Yes.
I hope this is clear.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. We already know the EBM ratio. यहाँ पे देखो, this is the value of EBM ratio. If you already know the EBM ratio and now you know the charge of the electron, can you calculate the mass of the electron with the help of this data? Please calculate the mass of electron and tell me, everyone. यहाँ पे आपको charge का value put करना है. EBM ratio, this is mod. Mod indicates the positive value. क्योंकि EBM ratio of the electron will be negative. Charge of the electron negative है ना. But यहाँ पे मैं आपको mod का value दिया है. Mod मतलब positive. I hope everyone know what is meant by mod. Modulus.
Yes, sir.
1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb put करो आप लोग. You will get the mass. Tell me the mass.
So 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31.
Very good. Exact है क्या?
नहीं.
Exact नहीं है, but yeah, round off किया तो it will be 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. Coulomb divided by mass is equals to 1.758820 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. आपको दोनों sides coulomb और coulomb cancel होगा, so you will be getting the mass in terms of kg. Almost equal to 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. What is this? This is the mass of the electron. Okay.
Yes.
ठीक है. Shall we go to anode ray experiment? Discovery of protons.
Yes, sir.
हाँ सर.
In your NCERT textbook, anode ray experiment के बारे में ज़्यादा कुछ information नहीं दिया, but we will be reading about anode ray experiment also. Okay. Next experiment, discovery of proton. Who discovered proton? Anyone? Who discovered electron?
J.J. Thomson.
J.J.
Thomson.
J.J.
Thomson.
Thomson.
J.J. Thomson. Okay. Who discovered proton?
Sir, E. Goldstein.
Goldstein. Good. Goldstein. Okay. And the name of the experiment is anode ray experiment, not the cathode ray, anode ray experiment. I hope अभी आपको मिलिकन ऑयल ड्रॉपलेट एक्सपेरिमेंट समझ में आया होगा. आपको इतना ही याद रखना है इसमें, the charges are always obtained in integer multiples of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. You can never get a charge which is 2.4 into 10 raised to minus 19. So आपको एक ही स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चन आता है मिलिकन ऑयल ड्रॉप एक्सपेरिमेंट के कंटेक्स्ट में. They will give you some charges. They will ask you which of the following is impossible charge during Millikan oil drop experiment. So you need to find that particular charge which is not multiple of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. और else जो भी आपको ऑप्शंस में चार्जेस दिया होगा, divide them by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. If you are getting that as a fraction, that won't be an answer. Okay, that won't be a possible charge. You need to get them as integers. Agreed? Okay, that is the only question you get with respect to entrance exams. Okay, anode ray experiment.
सर क्वेश्चन वापस रिपीट कीजिए ना, क्या बोला?
Yeah, question आपको मिलिकन ऑयल ड्रॉप एक्सपेरिमेंट में आपको ये क्वेश्चन आता है, which of the following charges is an impossible charge or a charge which is not possible on the oil droplet? कौन सा चार्ज नहीं होना चाहिए? The charge which is not in the multiple of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. वो वाला चार्ज कभी आएगा ही नहीं हमको. क्लियर है?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
हाँ सर.
ठीक है. Okay, we are now trying to read about anode ray experiment. The apparatus is similar. You have a high voltage battery. Okay, you have a high voltage battery. Okay. I'm not placing the ZNS screen now. Goldstein ने क्या किया? He has placed the ZNS screen behind the cathode, not behind the anode. He has placed the ZNS screen behind the cathode. Okay. You are having exactly the same setup. Everyone, you are having a cathode, you are having an anode, you are having a high voltage battery. It is of 10,000 volts. You are having also again having a gas and it is placed at low pressure in order to have good conduction of electricity. The tube is also called as discharge tube or Crookes tube. It is named after the scientist William Crookes, who first used the apparatus. Okay. The only difference is he has placed the ZNS screen not behind the anode, but he has placed it behind the cathode. Okay. ठीक है. Tell me, will there be any sparks on the zinc sulfide screen?
No.
Will there be any sparks on the zinc sulfide screen?
No.
No?
There will be.
There will be, sir.
There will be.
Yes.
Okay. जिनको there will be लग रहा है, please tell me the reason why. Arnav?
क्योंकि सर बिकॉज मेटल को भी पॉजिटिव चार्ज कनेक्टेड है फ्रॉम द बैटरी.
मेटल. ओके, पॉजिटिव चार्ज कनेक्टेड है. इसका मतलब क्या होना चाहिए?
पॉजिटिव चार्जेस.
पॉजिटिव चार्जेस इधर से निकल के आएगा, ऐसा कुछ?
यस.
Is that possible? Positive charge, we all know general idea of the atom, right? An atom has electrons and you have a nucleus. Inside the nucleus you have positively charged particles which are protons. Nucleus के अंदर आपको protons है और neutrons है. So अगर मुझे positively charged particles लेके आना है तो can I say I need to remove those protons from the nucleus and need to bring them? और ऐसा भी कुछ कर सकता हूँ, I can remove the nucleus itself. न्यूक्लियस को निकालना है, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को नहीं निकालना है, डायरेक्ट न्यूक्लियस को निकालना है. ये होता है क्या ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं.
मतलब इलेक्ट्रॉन को इधर ही छोड़ देगा, तुमको यहाँ पे मैं जाके आता हूँ, ऐसा न्यूक्लियस आ जाएगा बाहर?
नहीं नहीं
नहीं.
नहीं.
नहीं हो सकता, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल भी नहीं. अगर वैसा होता तो सपोज मान लेते हैं हो रहा है, वैसा कुछ हो रहा है. अगर वैसा होता तो क्या होना चाहिए? An atom has mass only because of its nucleus. Electrons have negligible mass.
Yes.
Okay, right? So nucleus ऐसा कुछ बाहर आ रहा है तो what should happen to the size of this metal plate over time? It has to decrease. Degrade. वैसा कुछ नहीं होता. Okay? This is not deteriorated. उसका पहले जैसा है वो बाद में भी वैसा ही है. इसका मतलब the nucleus is not coming out of it. Okay? If the nucleus is not coming out of it, or else if there is no positive charge, सबसे पहले ये भी नहीं होगा, protons और nucleus के अंदर से बाहर नहीं आएगा. It is nucleus is very very stable. Okay? It is very difficult to break a nucleus.
Yes.
Okay? So never think ऐसा proton उसके अंदर से बाहर आ जाएगा. Okay? ये नहीं होगा. ठीक है. न्यूक्लियस भी नहीं बाहर आ रहा है और प्रोटॉन भी बाहर नहीं आ रहा है. ठीक है. So will there be any sparks on the ZNS screen?
No.
No.
नो.
No. तो ठीक है, एक्सपेरिमेंट खत्म, जाते हैं फिर. एक्सपेरिमेंट ही कुछ नहीं है ना,
सर
नहीं होगा. और किसी कोई अदर रीजन? Tell me, okay, इससे पहले tell me the source of cathode rays. Tell me the source of cathode rays.
Negative charge.
metal plate and gas atoms.
Metal plate and gas.
It is both metal plate as well as gas atoms, right? Gas atoms की वजह से कैसे
Yes.
बना? Whenever these electrons or these cathode rays, whenever they are falling on the gaseous atoms, the electrons are coming out of that particular atom or the atom is getting ionized. Okay? If it is getting ionized, everyone, यहाँ पे positively charged species कुछ तो बना होगा ना?
यस.
है कि नहीं?
Yes.
sir.
What is the reason for the formation of these positively charged ions? The cathode rays, once they hit the gas atoms, they are getting ionized. Ionized is nothing but separation of the electrons and this particular positive charge. Okay. So you are forming positive charge. If there is positive charge, this cathode is negatively charged. These positively charged species will be attracted towards cathode. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So they will be attracted and there will be movement of these positively charged rays towards this cathode negatively charged plate, and whenever these rays, they are having some energy because they are getting accelerated because of this negatively charged plate. Whenever these rays fall on this particular ZNS screen, what can happen?
Spark.
It can produce sparks, it can produce scintillations. But इस experiment में हुआ क्या है? There are no distinct sparks. There are sparks, but the sparks are very, very less. In order to maximize the sparks, in order to increase the sparks, what we can do is you can make perforations inside this cathode. छोटा सा holes लगा सकते हो. Unless and until there are perforations, the sparks were not so distinct. Reason क्या है? They are not having so much high velocities. They are formed because of the ionization. Once they are formed, they are getting accelerated towards the cathode. But cathode rays में क्या हुआ? These cathode ray particles are emitted because of the high voltage battery. This battery is pushing the cathode ray particles out of this cathode with very huge velocities. Moreover, electrons जो है उनका size भी बहुत छोटा है, so उनका velocities भी ज़्यादा है, उनका penetration power अच्छा है. They are able to penetrate this anode. Even though there are no perforations, you can see distinct sparks here. But इस case में, unless and until you made perforations, there are no distinct sparks. इससे मैं ये भी conclude कर सकता हूँ, they have low penetration power, or they are having low energy. Okay? ठीक है? और if you made perforations, मतलब छोटा-छोटा holes किया तो there are some distinct sparks. Okay? So इससे मैं ये conclude कर सकता हूँ, there are some particles which are coming from anode side to the cathode side. Okay, they are not exactly coming from anode. This is one of the entrance exam question. They will ask what is the source of the anode. What is the source of the anode rays? The source of the anode rays is not the anode, it is the gaseous atoms. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the source of the cathode rays? It is both the metal atom plus the gas.
Gas.
Metal plate plus the gaseous atoms. Good. Okay. So इसने भी क्या किया? Repeat करो. You can do.
Sir, can you
Yeah.
repeat?
Yeah. Which part?
Sir, that formation of proton.
Formation of positively charged ना. Okay. Last lecture में जो लोग नहीं थे, everyone concentrate. An atom is nothing but a nucleus along with electrons revolving around it. Whenever the cathode ray particles, which are coming with high velocities from the cathode, whenever they fall on the electron because of the force, this particular electron can be kicked out. If the electrons in the atom are kicked out, it will result in the formation of positively charged nucleus plus the electrons, depending upon the number of electrons, plus n electrons करके लिख रहा हूँ. Okay, so there is formation of positively charged particle. This positively charged particle will be attracted towards the cathode as the cathode is negatively charged. And these positively charged particles, whenever they fall on the ZNS screen, they can produce scintillations because they are having some energy. Okay, मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ, the scintillations are not so distinct initially because they are having less penetration power because of their huge masses. ऐसे कुछ बोल सकते हो. ज़्यादा मास होने की वजह से वो penetrate नहीं कर पा रहे. Okay, so in order to make them penetrate, what I'm doing is यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा holes जैसा बनाया, मतलब paths जैसा बनाया. Through these holes, they are able to go, and whenever they are falling on this ZNS screen, they are producing sparks. Okay, इससे मैं ये conclude कर सकता हूँ, there are some rays coming from anode and they are falling on the cathode side. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what is the source of the, यहाँ पे लिख लेते हैं, source of anode rays? You have only one source. Gas atoms. Okay. Okay, good. ठीक है. उसने भी same किया है, मतलब he has placed an external battery. When he placed an external battery, what is the observation, or what can be the observation? The rays got deviated towards the negative terminal of the battery. And how to identify that? More and more sparks are in that particular region where you are having the negative terminal. Clear?
Yes.
So what
Yes.
can I conclude from that? यहाँ पे लिख ले रहा हूँ directly observations and conclusions. Everyone, please bear with me for 20 more minutes. Okay, what is the first observation? That conclusion लिख लेते हैं.
The rays are positively charged.
Very good. The anode rays are positively charged.
Sir, what is the name for these rays?
You can call them as simply anode rays. ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं हम? Because ऐसा कुछ लग रहा है हमको एनोड के तरफ से आ रहा है. They are not exactly coming from the anode, but they are coming from the side of the anode. Okay, we will be calling them as anode rays only. Okay, the anode rays are positively charged. Next observation, what you can do is similar things. Again, in the path of the anode rays, place an opaque object. You can find the shadow of the opaque object. From this, what can I conclude?
Straight line.
Travel in straight line.
Anode rays travel in straight lines. Okay. Okay. Next, place a small mechanical wheel. What should be the expectation? The wheel should rotate. यहाँ पे भी हुआ है. The wheel started to rotate. From this, what can I conclude?
The
They
rays
have mass.
carry mass.
They have mass. Very good. Okay. Again, can we calculate the E-band ratio by applying electric and magnetic fields? They have charge. Anode rays के पास दो properties है. The properties are they have charge and they have mass. Charge represented by E, mass represented by M. Can we calculate the value of E by M? Okay. Okay. What are the sources of the anode rays? Only the gaseous atoms. So if I want to perform experiment, I will be only changing the nature of the gas. Is there any need for changing the metal plate?
No.
No.
No, right?
No, sir.
जरूरत नहीं. So we can just change the nature of the gas, different gases को place करके. You can find the E-band ratio. What will be the observation? E-band ratio constant आएगा या different values आएगा?
Sir, actually different values आना चाहिए.
different values आएगा.
Different values.
Okay, everyone. बाकी सभी लोग लग रहे ना आपको? The E-band ratio should be of different values. Reason क्या है? Different gases के nucleus जो है अलग रहेगा ना?
हाँ.
E-band ratio, this anode ray particle is nothing but the nucleus of the atom. All the nuclei of different gaseous atoms are not same. They will be different because of the presence of different number of protons and different number of neutrons. Accordingly, you will have different charge and mass. Agreed? So the E-band ratio, वो वैसा ही आया उसको भी. There is no difference. The E-band ratio, it is not a constant. Everyone, the E-band ratio is not a constant. And with hydrogen, he got the E-band ratio of hydrogen gas के साथ. Hydrogen gas के साथ या hydrogen atom के साथ जो भी charge बन रहे हैं, I am representing that as H positive. ओके हमें पता है ना हाइड्रोजन के अंदर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन है एटॉमिक नंबर 1, उसके अंदर से एक इलेक्ट्रॉन हटा दिया तो व्हाट विल बी द चार्ज ऑन इट? +1. ओके
Yes.
मतलब +1.6 into 10⁻⁻19 coulombs होना चाहिए. ओके the EBM ratio with hydrogen atom or with hydrogen gas, he got that value as maximum. Very important. The EBM ratio with hydrogen gas, he got that as maximum. We already know the charge of 1 electron. Okay. And if we substitute that charge, we can find the mass of that particular hydrogen.
Yes.
Okay. Or else ये सब वो कैसे किया है वो सब बाद में रखते हैं. उसमें क्या किया conclusions के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं. He got the charge of that particular H positive. Everyone concentrate here. The charge of H positive. I'm saying about the charge, not the EBM ratio. The charge of the anode ray particle which is obtained from hydrogen gas is minimum, and the mass of the anode ray particle which is obtained from the hydrogen gas is also a minimum value. Okay. When he tried to calculate the charges as well as masses of other anode ray particles, and he tried to calculate them in terms of this particular minimum charge or minimum mass, उसको मिला क्या है? For any other gas, he got the charge as some P times multiple of charge of H positive, and the mass of any other gas as Q times multiple of mass of H positive. Everyone, where P and Q are integers. P comma Q are integers. यहाँ पे everyone थोड़ा समझने के लिए कोशिश करो. He calculated the charge of H positive. What is H positive? It is the anode ray particle that is obtained from hydrogen. Hydrogen atom के अंदर से जो भी anode ray particle मिला है by removing an electron, I'm calling that as H positive. The charge of H positive and the mass of H positive are coming to be minimum values, and with any other gas, I'm referring to that particular anode ray particle as some gas. Okay. If I want to calculate, or if he calculated the charge of that particular anode ray particle, he got the value as some P multiple of charge of H positive and the mass of that particular anode ray particle, gas other than hydrogen. He got that as some Q times of mass of H positive, where P and Q are integers. From this particular observation, what can you conclude? P and Q are integers, everyone. ओके यहाँ पे इसको हाइड्रोजन को ये सबको हटा दो. मैं आपको एक बेसिक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. ये बताओ मुझे, यू आर हैविंग ए बॉक्स, नेग्लेक्ट द मास ऑफ द बॉक्स. इसके अंदर एक बॉल है. ओके इफ आई एम वेइंग दिस, द मास इज कमिंग टू बी m1, which is nothing but the mass of the ball. I am having some black boxes. ब्लैक बॉक्स मतलब इसके अंदर क्या है मुझे पता नहीं. I don't know the number of balls present inside this box. Suppose if I say its mass is 4m1, its mass is 45m1. What can you conclude? वैसे बहुत सारे boxes है. सब boxes का masses जो है, you are getting some 50m1, some 1000m1. Irrespective of the box you are weighing, all the boxes weights are in terms of this m1, 105 m1, etc. What can you conclude?
There are that many number of balls.
ये जो particular ball है, इन सारे boxes में भी repeat होना चाहिए. Okay? इसके अंदर 4 balls होना चाहिए, इसके अंदर 45 balls होना चाहिए, 50,000, 105, so on so forth. Okay? So can I say this particular ball is fundamental to all these boxes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everyone can I say that?
हाँ सर.
इसके जैसा ही इसके अंदर रिपीट होना चाहिए. Then only I am able to express all the boxes in terms of the smallest m1. Okay. So यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? With hydrogen, E of H positive and the mass of H positive, he is obtaining that to be minimum. Rest all other gases, he was able to express in terms of that particular H positive. The charge of any other anode ray particle is some integer multiple p times charge of H positive. Mass of any other gas anode ray particle is q times mass of H positive, which is q is again integer. इसका मतलब क्या है? H positive जैसा जो भी particle है, those particles are repeating in other anode rays. Agreed. H positive जैसा ही entity आपको सारे gases के अंदर होना चाहिए. Or else can I take this H positive to be fundamental?
Yes.
Everyone. बाकी लोग.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you have any doubt, ask me. This H positive, as I'm able to express each and everything in terms of this H positive, I'm concluding that H positive जैसा ही चीज है, सारे anode ray particles के अंदर होना चाहिए. Or else I'm concluding H positive is nothing but a fundamental particle. We know that, we already know that hydrogen जो है उसके अंदर एक electron है और एक proton है. It don't have any neutrons. So whenever I'm removing the electron, H positive is nothing but only one proton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this proton is repeating in all the anode rays. Okay. इसके वजह से आपको वो जो भी H positive है और proton है, I'm calling that particular particle as fundamental. Fundamental मतलब क्या है? It should be present in all the things and the nature of it must be same. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
और एक important observation है. Very, very important observation. In all the cases, he is getting that P not equal to Q. P not equal to Q आ रहा है. मतलब वो जो charge multiple है and वो जो mass multiple है, they are not same. What is the reason behind this?
Neutrons.
Sorry?
There is even neutrons present in the nucleus.
Because due to the presence of neutrons. अभी ये जो nucleus है, nucleus के अंदर आपको neutrons भी है, protons भी है. Protons are the one which have charge, but neutrons doesn't possess any charge. Okay. ये जो mass multiple जो भी आएगा, it will always be greater than the charge multiple. Or P is always less than Q. P is always less than Q. P less than Q किस वजह से आ रहा है? Because there are some particles which don't have any charge inside the nucleus. Those are called as neutrons. Is this clear?
Yes.
Last
Yes,
point,
sir.
अगर आपको कुछ doubt है तो बताना. P is always less than Q. What is the reason for this? Due to the presence of neutrons. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. आपको इसके बारे में उतना ज्यादा information NCERT में नहीं है. The only information which you need to remember with respect to entrance exams is what is the source of the anode rays. What is the source of the anode rays?
The
Yes.
gases.
Yes.
Gaseous.
Only the gaseous atoms. And what is the what are the values of E/M ratios in anode rays? They're different. They're not constant.
They
Okay.
are not constant. Yes.
In case of cathode ray experiment, it is a constant.
Yes.
Is this clear?
Yes.
And E/M
sir.
ratio of
Yes, sir.
hydrogen. E/M ratio of hydrogen is maximum as the mass of proton, as the mass of hydrogen is the least. You are dividing it by a smallest number. Hence, you are getting E/M ratio of proton as maximum. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I hope this is clear.
Yes.
I am erasing this particular part. आपको समझ में आ गया लगता है मुझे. Okay. So what is the conclusion then? H positive, which is nothing but proton. Is a fundamental particle. Okay, as I was able to express the charge and mass of different anode rays in terms of this particular proton. Okay, as integer multiples में express कर पा रहा हूँ, ये important है. P and Q has to be integers because you can always express one number in terms of another number in terms of fractions also. Yeah, Neeral बताओ.
सर ही
हाँ.
फंडामेंटल मतलब सभी एटम्स के लिए वैलिड है.
सबके अंदर है,
But-
सब में एक जैसा ही है.
But he conducted experiments for gases, right? So how can he conclude कि वो liquid
Those are
is
nothing
not
but those are nothing but elements only, ना?
हाँ.
Okay, gases ले सकते हो, or else you can take sodium vapors जैसा रहता है. Sodium is a metal. You can take sodium vapors. Okay, you can take that also. But general logic है, all these are nothing but atoms only. Everything, each and everything is made up of atoms only. इनके अंदर रहा तो बाकी सब में तो रहेगा ही है.
Okay.
Okay, or else you can take sodium vapor. Sodium is a metal. Sodium का vapors रहेगा. You can take sodium vapors inside that, and for that you need to have temperature conditions, different temperature conditions. Okay.
सर और एक डाउट है.
हाँ, पूछो.
सर अगर उस टाइम पे न्यूट्रॉन्स डिस्कवर ही नहीं हुए थे तो फिर
नहीं
उसे
हुआ.
कैसे किया
हाँ,
कि
इसने
negative-
अभी के लिए okay. From this, what we can conclude is, उसने बस एक स्टेटमेंट कहा, inside the nucleus or inside nucleus नहीं, inside the atom there are some particles which are having mass which is equal to the mass of the proton, but they don't possess any charge. अगर सारा particles जो है q times of m of h positive का मतलब क्या है? There are some q particles which is having mass equal to that of h positive. Agreed? If all those particles also possess charge, what should be the charge also? Q into charge of h positive. But उसको क्या आया? He is getting some, suppose ऐसा फिर से example ले लेते हैं. You are having 10 particles inside this. Suppose हमको mass of this particular gas is 10 times of mass of h positive. इसका मतलब क्या है? You are having 10 particles and each of its mass is equal to mass of h positive. Agreed?
Yes sir.
ऐसा 10 है. If all these 10 particles also possess charge, सारे particles को 10 particles को charge रहता तो, then what should be the charge of this particular anode ray particle? 10 into charge of h positive. इसको
Yes.
क्या आ रहा है? The value is always lesser than 10. उसको मान लेते हैं 5 आया, 5 times charge of h positive. इसका मतलब क्या है? There are 5 particles inside this particular anode ray which has only mass but no charge. So इससे उसने ये conclusion, बस उसने एक statement कहा, inside the atom there are some particles which are neutral and have mass similar to that of proton. उसने discover नहीं किया because unless and until he isolate that, I cannot say जैसे अभी electrons का isolate किया and ये single proton का isolate किया. Unless and until I separate that and I study that, we should not say मतलब ऐसा हाँ मैंने discover कर लिया. Okay, उसने बस कहा एक information दिया. Inside the subatomic particles है, inside the atom there is another subatomic particle which has mass similar to that of, can be similar to that of hydrogen, but there has no charge. Clear है?
Yes.
Yes sir.
I hope this is clear. Okay.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. I hope this is clear. यहाँ पे आपको homework जैसा दे रहा हूँ. Get the E/m ratio of proton. Okay. Get the E/m ratio of proton कितना है? मतलब हाइड्रोजन गैस का. and from that calculate the mass of proton. Okay, substitute the charge as 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. With the help of E/m ratio of proton, get the mass of the proton. We already know the mass of the electron as 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. We know the charge of the electron or the charge of the proton as 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb magnitude. With the help of the E/m ratio of proton, you can Google that. I think NCERT textbook mein mentioned nahi hai. You can Google that. With the help of that, find the mass of the proton. Okay. इसके साथ साथ also read about discovery of neutrons. Who discovered neutron?
Chadwick.
Chadwick. Read about discovery of neutrons. After discovery of neutrons, we will go to atomic models. Atomic model का मतलब क्या है? Now we understood that atom has three particles, three subatomic particles, which are electrons, protons, and neutrons. हमको क्या करना है? We need to understand the position of them inside the atom, or the distribution of them inside the atom. कैसे रहेगा? Okay, all the models which attempt understanding the location of electrons, protons, and neutrons inside the atom, they are called as atomic models. Okay, आप लोग J.J. Thomson का मॉडल, प्लम पुडिंग मॉडल या वाटरमेलन मॉडल इसके बारे में पढ़ा होगा. These are atomic models. These are the attempts for understanding the position or the location of electron, proton, or neutron inside the atom. Okay, so we will be understanding about them in our next lecture. Okay, we will be seeing the discovery of neutron. After the discovery of neutron, we will go to J.J. Thomson model. उससे कुछ खास information नहीं मिलता है हमको. You will understand Rutherford's experiment. Very, very important. Please, everyone, read in your NCERT textbook Rutherford's experiment, which led to the discovery of nucleus. Okay.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Tell me.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Yeah. Tell me, Smith. कैसा हो Smith?
Sir, actually, I'm new.
Okay. Okay. You are new, क्या? There is one more Smith, na?
Sir, I don't know. I don't have.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. Tell me.